Did you know that over 70% of readers abandon a book because they don't connect with the characters? It's shocking but true. A great plot might grab their attention, but it's the characters who keep them hooked. In fact, the average reader spends nearly 80% of their time focusing on characters more than the storyline. That's how important it is to get your characters right. In this video, we'll unlock the secrets to writing characters that feel real. You'll discover how to give your characters depth, quirks, and motivations that resonate with your audience. You won't just create people on paper, you'll create unforgettable individuals that readers care about. We'll talk about what makes them tick, what stops them from reaching their goals, and how you can use those struggles to bring them to life. Stay with me, and let's dive into the exciting world of character creation, where every choice you make could mean the difference between a character who's remembered forever and one who fades into the background. Chapter 1: The Anatomy of Authenticity. Breathing life into your characters. When we think about characters that stick with us, it's not their perfection that draws us in, it's their authenticity. Every character needs a soul, a unique blend of strengths, weaknesses, and quirks that makes them feel real. Think of your favorite character. What's the one thing they all have in common? They feel like someone you could meet on the street, not a distant fictional creation. Real people are messy, full of contradictions, and that's where we should start. According to author J.K. Rowling, your character's greatest strength is their greatest weakness. Think about it, Hermione Granger's intelligence makes her a powerful ally, but her overconfidence leads to conflict in the story. To create authenticity, start by asking, what does my character want most? Then, think about what's stopping them from getting it. The tension between these two forces is what brings your character to life. For example, in The Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen is strong and independent, yet she constantly grapples with her fear of losing her loved ones. This duality keeps her relatable. It's also crucial to think about how your character's past shapes their present behavior. Their backstory doesn't need to be a lengthy biography, but small hints, like a scar, an odd habit, or an unresolved grudge, can reveal a lot about their internal conflict. If you want to dive deeper, the Big 5 personality traits, openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, can serve as a great starting point. These traits help you create a consistent character arc and interactions with others. Chapter 2: Behind Closed Doors. The hidden lives of your characters. The most intriguing characters aren't always the ones who are open about their past, they're the ones whose backstories we never fully know. Backstories are not just for giving a character a history, they're key to making them complex. Think of Batman. His traumatic childhood defines his motivations and actions, even if the audience only learns pieces of the puzzle as the story unfolds. When you create a character's backstory, don't think of it as a laundry list of events. Instead, ask, how has this shaped them? A well-developed past can explain a character's love, fear, or attitude. But avoid making it too obvious, just drop small, meaningful hints. The audience will fill in the gaps themselves, and that makes the story more engaging. This strategy doesn't have to be based on tragedy. In fact, characters with a normal backstory can still be dynamic. Think about your average person. What defines them isn't just their successes, but how they handle failures. A character who grew up in a happy family but still struggles with insecurities offers a fresh perspective. The key is balance. If you reveal everything up front, it ruins the mystery. We all know a little mystery makes life exciting. Your audience will want to learn more bit by bit. Chapter 3: Words They Don't Say. The power of subtext. Great storytelling happens in the spaces between words. Subtext, or the meaning behind what characters say, or don't say, can be just as important as dialogue. In fact, research shows that over 90% of communication is non-verbal. You know those conversations where characters don't say much, but you can feel the tension. That's subtext in action. Take, for example, the movie The Godfather. One of the most powerful scenes involves a simple handshake. No words are exchanged, but the audience can feel the weight of the moment. That's because the silence says more about loyalty, trust, and power than any lengthy monologue could. When you use subtext, you're making your characters more authentic because people rarely say exactly what they mean. To master this, think about what your character is thinking versus what they're saying. Do they want to express anger but mask it with humor? Or maybe they have deep feelings for someone, but they hide them with sarcasm. By creating this gap, you deepen the emotional complexity of your characters. Also, keep an eye on body language and setting. If a character stands with their back to the door while talking to someone, what does that say about their relationship? Subtext is an art, but it's one of the easiest ways to add depth to your characters without relying on explicit information. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on how to improve your storytelling skills. Chapter 4: Flaws, Fears and Growth. Perfect imperfections make perfect characters. If a character is perfect, there's nowhere for them to grow. And growth is key to making a character feel real. Flaws and fears are the foundation of character development. In Harry Potter, Harry's insecurity about being the chosen one gives him room to evolve throughout the series. He's not perfect, but that's exactly what makes him relatable. Think about it, what's the one thing that makes people feel human? It's vulnerability. A character who has fears and doubts is instantly more relatable. They become like a friend or family member we want to root for, because we see ourselves in them. When you give your character a flaw, don't think of it as a negative trait, think of it as an opportunity for growth. The flaw should directly impact their decisions, their relationships, and their actions. Fear also plays a major role in how characters make choices. Do they act bravely, despite their fear? Or does their fear hold them back from achieving their goal? Fear is a natural part of being human, and by writing characters who face their fears, you make them feel more grounded in reality. By the end of the story, your character should have changed in some way, hopefully, for the better. But remember, real growth doesn't happen overnight. Just like people, characters take time to learn from their mistakes, and sometimes they take 2 steps forward, then 1 step back. Chapter 5: Living, Breathing Dialogue, How to Make Characters Speak Naturally. Dialogue is the lifeblood of character interaction. But writing realistic dialogue can be tricky, people don't always speak in perfect sentences. In fact, real conversations are full of interruptions, filler words, and pauses. According to a study by linguist Deborah Tannen, the average person speaks around 150 words per minute. But much of what they say isn't perfectly constructed. To make dialogue feel authentic, pay attention to rhythm. People often speak in incomplete thoughts or tangents. So, have your characters interrupt each other or finish one another's sentences. This creates tension and makes conversations feel more real. Also, don't forget about filler words like like, and, you know. While these seem trivial, they actually mirror how we speak in real life. Incorporate non-verbal cues as well. Does a character pause before answering? Do they glance away, or do they raise an eyebrow? These small gestures fill the silence and add layers to their personality. Another trick is to give each character a distinctive voice. A quiet, reserved character may speak in short, clipped sentences, while an extroverted character may speak in longer, more expressive ways. The way your character speaks can tell the audience just as much about them as their actions do. Chapter 6: Walk a mile in their shoes. The power of empathy in writing. The key to making characters feel real is empathy. As a writer, you need to truly understand your characters, their pain, joy, doubts, and dreams. This doesn't mean you need to have experienced everything your character has, but it does mean putting yourself in their shoes. In The Fault in Our Stars, author John Green writes from the perspective of a teenage cancer patient. Even though he's never been through this experience himself, his deep empathy for the characters shines through. It's about human connection, writing from a place of understanding and not judgment. Take time to think about your character's worldview. How do they see the world around them? What experiences have shaped their opinions, behaviors, and reactions? If you approach your characters with compassion, they'll naturally begin to feel like real people, rather than just words on a page. Empathy also means understanding their internal struggle. Every character has a conflict that's not just about external events, but how they feel inside. Whether it's a fear of failure, a deep need for love, or an overwhelming sense of guilt, this internal conflict makes your character's decisions more powerful and relatable. To truly feel your character's emotions, write as if you are them. Get into their mindset, and ask yourself how they would react to the situations in your story. The more you can embody your characters, the more they'll resonate with your audience. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're always in the loop with tips on becoming a better storyteller.